Content warning, explicit language, and political opinions.
The Andolanjeevi podcast recorded 3rd July 2022 from Mumbai and Bangalore.
Yes, I am NKG and
And I'm
joined here by
Arcane Phoenix.
Arcane. Yes, so today we want to do something different. Today we thought, okay, instead of just recording full audio and then putting visuals on it later on, let's just go through stuff live on the um, on our screens, and then we can talk about what we come across, right?
So just for consistency's sake, what NK, what you can do is you can share your screen on the sort of Discord call thing, and then like we can be sure that we are looking at the same thing.
Correct. Yeah. So yep. Now I shared my screen
Yeah,
with you as
yeah,
well.
I can see it. 1 second. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So these seem to be. So yeah,
So
like
let's start
let's.
with
Bye Modi from where? Is he visiting someplace?
something. Let's see what's happening.
Uh, yeah, this is typical Adani is Adani owns Modi.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he seems to be visiting Telangana.
Uh, oh,
That's
uh,
what
is that I saw this billboard earlier as well. Is this from Telangana?
apparently it's from Telangana, Hyderabad.
Interesting. Very
So
interesting.
Mr. N Modi, we
Hmm.
only rob bank, you rob the whole nation.
Yes. And what is it? Something like written
I
here, or
have
is that
genuinely
just?
no idea. So, but maybe it is some kind of hedge for actually when we said Mr. N Modi, we just meant Mr. Nirav Modi.
Okay. That could be it. That this could be like repurposed, right, for something like for whoever you're talking about,
Nirav Modi?
Nirav Modi.
I mean, I don't expect it. Anyway,
Is this so? Is
so
this just anti-Modi posts?
yeah, like that's to be expected.
What is this
Uh,
from? 2022.
uh, this is the protests against Agnipath.
Yeah. Did we talk about that in
We
our?
were planning to.
We are planning to, right? Let's talk about that Agnipath thing.
Yeah, I actually remember watching a lot of videos about this thing, about the scheme, and
Hmm.
from what my understanding is, and you can correct me if I'm wrong,
Hmm.
the idea is that like your typical sort of uh, recruitment is gone, like your
Hmm.
old recruitment where once you are selected, you are in, that's out.
Hmm.
Instead, what you have is for 4 years, you're essentially trained as a sort of paramilitary, and
Hmm.
once after those 4 years, a maximum of 25% of the people who went through that training will be selected for like permanent, and everybody else gets let go.
Yes. With like around rupees 11.47 lakh as one time payment instead of a pension.
Yes, which
Um,
uh, it's it gen it, ge- it genuinely I guess it you genuinely kind of wonder like what the how bad the situation is, because it's genuinely crazy. Actually, it even got to the point where I remember reading that apparently Agnipath, like the movie Agnipath, Hrithik Roshan starrer,
how
got
people are like review bombing it.
people review bombed it because they had thought it was related to the this thing scheme. The issue is, and the thing is, I'm kind of surprised how quickly the government has sort of, uh, what's the word? Doubled down on it. Like there was
Hmm.
actually like a full press conference with like your
Apparently, like high
military
rank.
chiefs
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
everybody was like, yeah, this is it. Don't bother like
Protesting it.
opposing it, etc., etc. I think the only concession made was that it was originally from the originally the only part that was done was from seven. I think it was the age limit on joining was from 17.5 to 21. So, and
Hmm.
for this year it is going to be 23
Right, 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 right.
because
Uh,
nothing else has changed. I th- and like it just feels kind of really worrying, you know?
it is definitely weird, and it is like, um, yeah. So what I am also hearing is that apparently that pension, that not like the compensation of 11 lakh,
Hmm. Hmm.
that's like something that will come out of the existing pension pool, the pension fund pool of the existing like servicemen. So
So it affects not just these new guys, but also current servicemen.
yes, so that's the thing. That's why it's so weird that it's like an all-around bad idea, and like who's
I
on board?
it just feels no. The thing is, just part of it just feels like you are doing austerity with the you're doing austerity with the military because the idea was apparently that this thing because the idea was that because military spending was considered too high because too much money was being spent on like pensions and stuff.
That's like okay, that can be addressed in other ways. Like,
Yeah,
but this is
like if you're talking, but if you're going into like full like austerity mode, then
yeah.
like there are other places you can cut. Like this is not this because this is not affecting like upper tiers, right? This is not like your
So it's
IMA.
below the.
This is not like IMA grad people
Hmm.
being affected. This is like rank and file,
These are
and
like, yeah, these are non-commissioned posts,
yeah,
so not
yeah,
officers.
yeah.
Yeah,
And I imagine there has been at least some level of wage stagnation, if not wage cuts for at most levels. But the issue is that you just don't like what do you even do? Like it just it just feels like economic incompetence has just kind of led to this kind of extreme uh this kind of extreme austerity, like where you are basically just having to cut costs because you are having to cut costs with a military in a situation which is and it's not like India is the US, right?
yeah.
Like the US spends, you could argue the US military requires austerity, but you cannot really argue, like you cannot argue to the same degree with India.
Yeah, and in fact, that's the thing that if it's not as if our overall policy has changed. Like, okay, if you're planning to save some money in the military department, that okay, that now India is going on a back foot some way. Like, it's not like we are geopolitically any more comfortable right now.
No. This is just austerity in like a we don't have money sense, not in a policy change sense.
Do you think this is a purely economical thing?
No, but I don't think it's related to foreign policy.
Not foreign policy. What I meant was like defense policy. So, because like I don't think we are at a point at which we can afford to not have like a steady supply of soldiers. Like I know this sounds like very sort of.
Yeah. No, no, no. I get you. I get you.
But
Like the
yeah,
like
geopolitically, we are not at a situation where it's like, okay, yeah, we can just, it's fine, just have 4 year service.
what's it? What is it? Three countries around us who are, to put it mildly, adversarial.
Yeah, definitely. And in fact, so now it's like all the existing. That's what I was. That's the thing that I'm calling weird. Who is on board with this? Like who
No, I think
would?
part of it
Yeah.
is just money. Like I just think part of it is economic. Like you kind of spend money and
Hmm.
you kind of try to find a way to sort of jumla out of your this thing, out of your like payment commitments to soldiers. You would think that this would be like unpopular, and it is, especially given how much you have barked on about like Desh Bhakti and all of that shit, and then you go and like literally give soldiers, like if you had if you had asked me if you had asked me like normally for any prime minister this would be like electoral suicide, but with this I just don't, with this government I don't know to what extent it can commit electoral suicide.
That's the thing. So, yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
And like mainly I do think it is economic in the sense of like in the sense of they don't want to spend, they feel like they're spending too much money, but obviously it doesn't consider that like it has other costs, obviously morale, etc. And beyond that I think there there has been some level of like conspiracizing on Twitter about the people who have had like 4 years of paramilitary training but are now like no longer employed, what they are going to do.
I don't think that's. I think the correct word is speculative. I
It is
think, yeah.
conspiratorial, I would say.
Okay.
I think if you make the claim that Modi is building up his own like what
Is on like
paramilitary Hitler youth
underground
type
paramilitary.
to
Hmm.
to to like off Muslims or whatever,
Oh my god.
or terror,
Hmm.
that I think is a little conspiratorial. It is there is general speculation on the topic, of course, and that makes sense.
Hmm.
The topic is kind of like it is a genuine concern what you are going to do with uh 22-year-olds who are military trained but are not do not have but are not confined by a military command structure.
Hmm. So no, but here's the thing. So the part that I had heard was about how like this was again like a fringe Twitter post which
Hmm.
like gained some attention and then people retweeted it, so it got my attention. It was not like a super popular opinion, but it was a thing where it was like, okay, now you have the same situation, all these people who have been military trained but with 4 years tenure they are getting let go now. Like, okay, it was really strange. It was like they have combat training, they have all of this like sort of military fervor built up. This will have an effect on the number of domestic violence cases.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I that I saw.
You saw that
Like
tweet as well, right? Yeah.
like I it's like that seems. I mean, I don't know. Like you might as well argue that mm, you might as well argue that any kind of uh, is there like serious evidence that like say the military has more domestic violence than typical institutions? I don't think so.
While we are talking, we can kind of check that. But I don't like in the case of India,
Like
this situation has
you're a
never.
military like kid, right? Assume.
So I can tell anecdotally, but the thing is, in the military,
Are you
sorry, yeah,
is your father is
yeah,
your
my
father like
father
is your
is
father like commissioned like IMA type? Not IMA level,
No,
but
no, no, no.
maybe, but
Like he's not an officer, so he is what we in general you call a serviceman.
hmm.
So he's not an officer, although he's very high ranking. But and he has been in like he is going to.
Part of it is anecdotal. Part of it has to be anecdotal because statistics are not always very, uh, very
Among armed forces.
representative of the actual reality. You must be knowing that meme about how how the US has a higher rape rate than India.
I can you repeat what you just said?
Like, I'm not saying that anecdote. I guess I feel like I'm worried that anecdote might be slightly more like not completely useless, mainly because uh, Indian statistics are not always the most representative of reality. You must have heard about the sort of Sanghi cope about how actually the rape in the US is higher than India or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, no. I've heard that. I have heard that about UK when all that when that Vedas special thing was going on, that he's talking in a
They
country
are
who has.
liberals. They are liberals. You say that India has high rape, but
Yeah,
then you go to UK where the statistics are higher. It's a weird place because like you don't know because when it comes to especially something like rape, you don't know you don't statistics are not useless, but they are not useful because you don't know what trends indicate. Is reporting going down or is the crime going down? Is reporting going up or is the crime going up?
yeah, and also that's the thing. That's the factor that I was talking about when we come to anecdotal thing, right? Is that in armed forces, among armed forces families, like where we among the social circles in the
Hmm.
armed forces families, because we also have the wherever there are military armed forces offices, there are also like accommodation for families in a closed uh, residential society.
Right, right.
And so I have lived there for I think uh, at this point I'm not so sure, but at least for half my life I've definitely spent inside
Okay.
these places only.
Hmm.
And the thing is that you would think, right, in general population you see all the especially this is common in domestic violence, that people don't want to talk about it, even the victims don't want to talk about it,
Hmm.
right? And they don't want to let anyone else find out.
Hmm.
And in my opinion that is even more severe among armed forces like families dependents. It is like even
Because of
more
because like in this
stigmatized.
sort of sorry, hello?
Hello,
Yeah, your voice broke.
I'm saying that it is even more stigmatized
So
among,
reporting
yeah.
is not reliable.
Yes, and again the thing is that these such surveys and all, they won't like let some open general survey happen in like these what we call these are stations. So they won't let like a proper like government survey happen here. Whatever survey they will do is internally. Whatever numbers they publish are internal like findings. And so I won't trust them at first blush. That definitely. And also, yeah, it's again this is not just collection of statistics, but also reporting and how upfront and open people are about it, because it's like the like how much people bother about honor, right? The
Yeah,
concept of honor.
that is like part of the whole like cultural thing. That is like how much of an like a sort of honor culture and patriarchy that is sort of imposed in the society in general.
And
That is like a big.
that is like definitely amplified among armed forces like
You would
circles.
argue that?
Yes, because uh, from what I have also seen, like I've seen a lot of like
Boys club.
things. Huh? No, not that, not that. So what I'm talking about, right, is like domestic, like in marriages,
Hmm.
right? So all the that stuff that so it's not like straight up harassment. That is like something that is very severely looked down upon. Okay, so it's just the
When you
contrast
say
of
so like wife beating, for example, would not
yes,
be
stuff like that. So
okay.
things that happen inside the house and things that are happening in open society. So whatever is happening in open society among open social circles, that is heavily scrutinized. You can't get away with like any minor infraction. Like it's like straight up. It will become a matter of your rank, whether or not you will continue to have your rank or you will be dishonorably discharged. Okay,
Mhm.
that is taken very severely. But when it comes to what's happening inside, that is something that's like there's such a heavy veil around it, okay, that you don't even know what's happening unless
Like
you.
like it's okay, maybe not okay, but people not investigate much to see if you are beating your wife inside your house.
Yeah, people don't like that's the thing. It's the people that you work with, right? Let's say you live in like some place, some civil area. It's like a general society, your neighbors, and you only interact with them casually. But then when it comes to a matter that you're living with the people that you work with, and whatever you say can have an impact on them, right? Then it's another level of reluctance that comes in to get involved, right? So
Mhm.
it's not like it is like tolerated. It's like it's something that don't let it out of your house. That's the mantra. So it's if it comes outside the house, then it's like again the
Yeah, so this
same.
is again like a typical like honor structure thing. Families should deal with issues on their own. There should not be like a outside scrutiny.
Yeah, and also, but that tweet, right? What reminds me about that tweet, that some distinctive thing that I remember from that tweet was that the
Mhm.
reason why they were arguing that this will have an impact on the general domestic violence cases is that these guys will receive, like, or people, whoever, like, it's for men and women both.
Mhm.
So these people will receive the training, but not the anushasan that comes, right? The military
Like
discipline that
the
comes.
sort of military inherent military hierarchy discipline.
Yes, that comes with serving for a long time. And that is
Mm.
something that I was like, nah, like that's not a thing. Like what happens in your like offices and your like training grounds at the battlefield is very different that happens inside the home. See, this is a thing that people like sort of want to overlook. Even I feel like my own dad, like I don't know if he'll ever listen to this. He might not, but if he comes to find out I'm talking like this, he'll be upset with me, definitely. That he'll like, why are you saying things like this? Because it does not matter that, okay, who are getting impacted. Is it like something that's negatively impacting people or not? What matters is the image.
It's izzat. Honor culture,
Yes,
basically.
yes. The image of like, okay, uh, nothing negative. It's just a vague, nebulous concept of nothing negative should be portrayed about the armed forces.
Essentially, like an honor culture. Like you are
Yeah,
saying, ki you have to maintain the honor of the military, your family, yourself as a soldier, etc., etc.
yeah. People don't
Like it's your
like.
very typical sort of like 70s Bollywood is a type thing, right? Or even
Yeah.
now, you know.
There's this performative honor culture is like a huge deal. Like I know people who are like I have friends who are children of officers. So my dad isn't even an officer. So officers are like a different class. Like it's like basically
And they
an
live
enforced class
separately.
hierarchy. Huh?
So like they live separately. Their kids go
Yes.
to like high
Better
posh.
schools. They have their own servants for their own bungalows, right?
Oh
And
yeah,
yeah,
these officers and stuff get like bungalows and shit.
bungalows with assigned servants
Like
who
that's
are,
your
yeah,
typical IAS type bungalow.
yes. So those bungalows
Okay.
are also again inside these residential stations only, but they are at like it's like a separate
But there's like an
area.
invisible like darar.
Yeah, 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 exactly. It is like that thing where you don't really want to acknowledge it, but it is there. You and an officer's child are not at the same station in life, but you
Right.
are discouraged from bringing that up or side of making that up. They themselves get in like defensive because imagine like a child trying to make friends. They would not want to be like the minority because officers are a minority among like there are more servicemen than officers, right?
Yeah.
So naturally in schools also there are less officers children than there are normal like regular servicemen childrens, right? So what happens is now if they start being
School, by school you mean
obnoxious.
something like KV.
Huh?
By school you mean like KV.
No, so we have our own schools as well. So Air
Okay.
Force, like I know, so my dad is in Air Force, so we have our own Air Force schools, which are
Okay.
essentially private schools which are managed by a committee that is formed inside the Air Force. So
CBSE?
no, not CBSE. So it will be a board that is comprised of Air Force officers, and they
Okay.
are the ones who are like managing the school system. There's an entire school network, Air Force school, Army schools. There's an entire networks of such armed forces schools.
I thought
So
that was
even
what KVs were for.
KVs.
Kendriya
No,
Vidyalayas.
KVs are for like KVs so in general because in KVs it's like KVs are like much more accessible. What I'm so when I say that most of these schools are like private schools basically. So if you're a civilian, or your fee would be much higher as
Right.
compared to if you are. So it goes like okay, if you are a regular service person, then officers, then civilians. So
Right.
the fee increases accordingly.
Right. Right.
So these are not equal fee for everyone. KVs are equal fee for everyone.
Okay.
So these are not like that. So they will always be inside the stations only. They cannot be
Right.
outside
Okay.
the Air Force stations or whatever armed forces branches there. And preference is given to serving members in admissions.
Right.
So so yeah, as I was saying in those scenarios,
So
if
it's
you
so it's
yeah.
like a fairly sort of insular environment.
Yes, definitely. And what happens is that if you are an officer's child, you don't want to be obnoxious about your wealth. You don't want to be show off, okay? Because you will get marginalized. You will, like, people will
People want what
ignore
to
you.
talk to you.
Yeah, people will not want to mix with you.
Hmm.
Or you can be the cool type of rich kid. So you can be the kind of rich kid who will, you know,
Give
uh,
people treats all the time.
exactly.
Like if you everybody goes out and like you have like a thing and you can share the thing and like that's like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
that kind of way.
Yes, or you give them like a ride in their car every once in a while because a lot of those kids by class 12, since this is again a funny thing, this is an internal thing. So our police is also different. It's not the like the state police. It's the
Okay.
Air Force police is different or the like different branches. I'm talking about Air Force because I've grown up in an Air Force environment.
Right. Right.
So what happens is again that's the same thing that comes. Those people also work with the same, you know, cadre of people. So what happens is
Mm.
these officers kids, so they can get their own personal cards, whether or not they're 18, whether or not they have a license, they can drive around. As long as they're
Right.
within the station, it's fine. Okay,
Mm.
and they like forget about the speed limits and shit. They can. I remember this because in the very last day of my school, class 12th, I
Mhm.
found this one guy that I had not talked to the entire time I had been there. I had been 6 years I had spent at that school, and in the end we were part of like the volunteers who were organizing the school annual day.
Mhm.
So among all the things that we were doing, we got some break before so the actual annual day event would start, and after all the preparations had been done. And then we were
Okay.
just like riding around in his car. Okay. And he
Mm.
had a designated driver, and he told driver to sit in the passenger seat and he would drive around. Okay. And
Okay.
he would drive around to show off. So he was intentionally going over speed limits. He was intentionally, like, trying to show
Like
off
doing
basically.
show off like things like he will like drift and all that kachra.
Yeah, and he's like trying to flaunt that. Okay, like it is a very thinly veiled way of flaunting that they will never get any repercussions for this. Okay, because
Mm-hmm.
the people who are policing them are ultimately subordinate to their fathers,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody wants to piss off their fathers. ठीक है,
Right.
like not really, they will, like होता है ना, they एक बार डांट पड़ जाएगी, like they'll just get a scolding once, but any solid action they can never do against a dependent of an officer. They can
Mm.
never take any solid disciplinary action.
Okay.
Okay, and it's like very, so that's what I'm saying. Among officers, it's even more like weird. This because what I was talking about, right? That all of that, like all the outside the house, everything is under heavy scrutiny. Among officers, even that is something that is
Mm-hmm.
suppressed. And this is all
Right.
anecdotes that I've heard from my friends,
Okay.
that even if some sort of in public some teasing happens, right, or some rude comments like that happens, it's like they try to sort of diffuse that. They try to, like, okay, no,
Okay.
handle it
Okay.
internally.
Mm-hmm.
And when internally,
Yeah.
that means interpersonally, not even like at an office level.
Right. So like they'll just like go and say that अरे क्या बच्चा ही तो है all of that.
हाँ, अरे this definitely happens a lot. So that's what I'm saying, that it's
Does it
not.
apply to like serious crimes or does it like only apply to
No, 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 no,
this
no.
kind of
No, that's what I'm saying. No, that serious. That thing is, if something serious happens, so the chances of you knowing about it are in direct proportion to, or like
how
inverse
powerful the
proportion, inverse proportion to how serious it was. So the more serious it is, the less likely that in general person will ever get to hear about it.
so
It
like
is, yeah,
you are
but
more likely to hear about someone showing off in their car than someone say like harassing people, harassing like women or something.
yes, so you will more likely to know, oh, that guy, overspeeds a lot, or even like, oh, that kid is like a drug addict. It's like okay, people know, okay, he does drugs, okay,
Hmm.
but you're very less likely to know about things which are like actual domestic violence or actual, like,
Sexual
uh,
harassment, etc.
yeah, basically.
Mm.
So that's the like,
Anyway, so
yeah,
now getting back to the original, it's
yeah.
just sort of like worrying because like what because like even if I am not sure how much I agree, I get why like people I get why people are worried about this sort of having like a class of people
Hmm.
who are essentially trained paramilitarily
Hmm.
but a, don't have the sort of army hierarchical structure
Hmm.
even with the like sort of even with the massive caveats that you mentioned.
Yeah.
I think it is
So
still
here's
better
something
than
that I
just
will,
letting them go,
yeah,
right?
here's something that I will mention actually, is that when I say things are hush hush, I don't mean they go unpunished. So when I talk about serious crimes, it's not as if the military will not do anything. Okay.
It'll not be
What will happen
publicized.
is they will very quietly get rid of that person. Okay, very quietly. No, this will not, like, it be like, oh, some day you knew this person, this family was there, the next day they are gone, and it's not
Okay.
like disappeared, just discharged, just let go, very quietly.
Hmm.
So that's the about quietness. So it's not like there is lawlessness, or there's like some sort of organized crime type of situation. That's not there. The discipline is there, but the discipline is implemented as quietly as possible.
Right. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. I guess like like I do agree in general the point that it would be very problematic to have a class of people who are trained, and this is most of the people who are trained. The the scheme says a maximum of 25% will be selected.
Yeah,
Not like it's not that 25% will be
yeah. It
selected.
says
It's
not
that
more than 25%. Yeah,
a maximum of 25% will be selected.
yeah,
So at least 75% of the people who have undergone like military training, like
yeah.
this sort of military training for 4 years, like what do you do with that? You
That's what
like
that.
people like there are things like Anand Mahindra was apparently saying that no, it's a very good point on your resume, as if as if like high quality resume applicants are the types who are going into non-commissioned posts.
No, but it's like the thing is not only just that, but 4 years of experience in anything is what happens is now you are like 25-year old. So let's say you get hired at 21, let go at
Mhm,
25.
mhm.
You do not have any like certification of any particular skill. Okay.
Right.
So let's say if I leave my job today after 6 years, I
Mhm,
will get like a certification of Excel. Like I will at least get, I already have my MTech degree, right?
mhm,
And
mhm,
I will also, if I want, can get like certain trade skills that I can get like at least people to sign off on them, that to
mhm,
vouch for me that okay, yeah, Nikhil is good at Java Spring Boot. Okay,
mhm.
so that can be like a thing, but with this, with like sort of armed forces, a lot of the skills that you learn in armed forces are not really
Not
skills
really
that you can,
transferable.
yeah, not really you can like these are not employable skills outside of the military.
Mhm.
So
I
yeah.
mean, like to a degree, I think like person management is like helpful, and like
No,
stuff
but
like
even then
discipline
you
is always
can't
helpful, but it's
manage
not like a
people.
direct one-to-one skill. I get that.
You can't manage people in civil companies like you manage people in armed forces. You can't, like,
Fair
because in armed
point.
forces
Fair
it's like
point.
a,
The like
yeah.
the hierarchical structure just doesn't exist there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a complete 180. In civil, it's like the managers have to worry more about not losing their positions. They need to be more of like, friendly, is like, oh yeah, you're all my friends, you're all my family kind of
Mhm,
person, right? There's that faux political correctness kind of thing,
mhm,
that they can never let you know that they are earning 10 times more than us, but it's just like be buddy buddy with us. In armed forces it's not like that. Armed forces is a clear cut distinction between who is in the command and who is following the command, and you
mhm.
can't do much about it. But yeah, that's the thing, that's what's no, but okay, that all is like a a I would say a good person would think about these things, right? But I'm
Mhm.
talking about, like, what I don't really understand is the violence,
I don't
right?
think it'll be significantly different. My problem is I'm not sure how much that matters.
No, no, no. What I'm talking about is the violence happening currently, like in this picture,
Oh,
the
oh,
trains
oh.
burning.
What about it?
Why? Like, why is
Because
it such a life
because
and
it's
death
going to
matter?
because I think for a lot of people who have been preparing for this long, I think for them, like having their job suddenly come up to like a 1 in 4 lottery is
Yeah.
kind of like not very like it's not as good for them, as lucrative for them as like it's like a job thing, right? Like you like people do like the physical and exams and all that stuff,
Hmm.
and now suddenly the rules change, and only and even after you are selected, only 25% of the people selected after 4 years will actually have a job. So you don't have like the job, you don't have like the pension apparently, and a big part of it is, and I assume this is something you will know very well,
Hmm.
a big part of it is you don't even have like the respect, because you don't
Oh
that
yeah,
like a
everybody will be
military
like, oh,
person.
you're not a full service
Yeah,
person.
you kind of like when you in this, if you get into like the Agnipath thing and then you can get kicked out after 4 years, you don't get like the respect of like an army person.
You, by implication, you would be considered the lesser of the, like, army recruits.
Yeah,
that
and
yeah,
like,
you did not
and
make
because
it.
of that, people kind of get very angry because like, because it's going to be, because three or four at, like at least three or four
Hmm.
will be in that position, and then like, what are you supposed to do? You know? So that is why people are angry and kind of want to this thing. Like, it's not good, but this is very, I mean, this is very normal at this point. Like, people burn down trains, burn down buses. Buses,
The
though, I
people
think
are
is
burning
probably
down
like,
like office of like government buildings in UP. I heard they like.
yeah, that's not surprising. It's just, yeah, it's just like very kind of expected, you know?
I guess, but this feels. I don't know. Maybe I have not been paying attention earlier, but this seems a little unprecedented according to me, when it comes to like government jobs, like a reaction to a change in government job policy. This seems a little extreme. The violence that is in response, because it's like this is like not. First of all, definitely this is not productive.
I think
Like,
there is, I mean, obviously not, but
yeah.
but like, I get it. I get why people are angry. This is, and this is on the back of like inflation and economic downturn.
I guess you know what I'm difficult to understand. So there's and when any of such, like there is a I would say like a rise in such like violence. There is usually not just an absence of things, like there's usually not just a reaction to something, but also
Hmm.
there's something that is motivating from the behind. So let's take an example of like communal violence,
Hmm.
right? So
Hmm.
so let's take an example of like, let's say a very extreme example would be the time of partition of India and Pakistan. So
Okay.
so now the separation was declared, and it's like okay, on both sides of the border there are like okay hostilities, right? But we know, and like in all such communal violence situations, we know that there
Hmm.
are always agents that are motivating things behind the scenes, right?
Okay.
There is something that pushes people over the edge, which is beyond frustration, beyond dejection. It turns into rage, right? So it's like I
I
understand
think a
people's.
partition is difficult to quantify, like explain the same way, because like the its reasons were different.
Yeah, no,
It
no, no,
was
yeah.
like,
Hmm.
because like the motivations were different for partition. Partition, like this is not something that is extensively like communal in nature, right? This is
Yeah.
something that is in nature very, this is like for your Agnipath thing.
Hmm.
This is not something that is communal in nature. It's not. It doesn't kind of. It doesn't kind of have like a person versus person sort of hatred. It just leads to sort of person versus quote unquote system sort of hatred.
Exactly,
Like,
and that's what I'm talking about. So a lot of the
and so
time,
like
yeah.
that's why like people attack, people like do violence against the system. In something like partition, you would have you would have much more likely, you would much more likely have for people to commit violence against other people, like directly. You have, if you have trains burning, it is to kill the people, it is not to destroy the trains, you know?
Yeah.
It's parties to civil conflict, god. Anyway, um so like it just feels like, I don't know, part of it just seems like economic frustration, like a
So
lot
do
of
we
it.
know of any like
Pardon?
I'm saying, do we know of any like loss of life that has happened as a consequence of this?
If presumably there has, but it's not like significant in terms of numbers. Mostly it has just been property destruction.
Hmm. Okay,
I
I
say
guess
just,
that
but like it has mostly, like it has mostly been property destruction.
I guess that makes like that. Okay, it's like few injured, one dead, many injured. Okay,
For like
among the
all over the
students.
country, lakhs of lakhs and lakhs of people. That's tiny. That is infinite
I
civil.
guess, Yeah, yeah, no, but I guess then that makes sense because it's like not people are not trying to hurt other people, but just general anti-establishment
Yeah, like it is
activities.
just sort of general. It's not a riot in the sense of like it is like it's not targeting a community. It is like
Hmm.
just property destruction kind of riot.
Yeah, it's like yeah, methods: encirclement, sit-in, traffic obstruction, rain ob- train obstruction, demonstration,
Demonstration, arson,
arson,
burns,
and
all of
burn.
that. Yeah, this is
Hmm.
not you're not this is not attacking a community.
And this is
This
not
is
even like targeting people. Like they're not trying to kill people. They're just trying to destroy
yeah,
property.
yeah. Like
Hmm.
at worst, this is like 100 times better than like any kind of like communal riot because
Yeah,
like the nature
but
is
then
different, the
this image,
motivation is
right?
different.
Okay, so let's forget about okay, partition maybe was a extreme comparison, but this image is
Hmm.
comparing like 2002, right, with the current situation. I guess these
Hmm.
are not really comparable.
They're not, but like it's a good like I think it's just done here because like because of the sort of parallels, right? Modi's career was made after like Godhra and the reactions to Godhra, and now we are at Modi being prime minister for eight, eight? Is it eight?
Eight, yeah, 2000, no wait, 2014, right? So yeah, eight, yes,
Eight.
2004, yeah,
For Modi has been prime minister for 8 years, and
yeah.
now tr- uh, train violence is happening again. It's a nice
It's
visual
just
like
yeah.
parallel, but they're not like
It's just
related
a
otherwise.
burning train, like, but if you go behind why and what's being
Oh
impacted
yeah,
and what are
of
the
course. These are very
goals,
different things.
yeah, it's just that trains are burning. That's the only common thing.
Yeah, yeah. It's just a very this thing sort of. mm, it's just
It's an appeal
some.
to
He
emotion, is
thought it
what it
was
is.
very. He thought it was very witty. She thought it was very witty.
Yeah, it's not just witty. I think it's just like appeal to like an emotional reaction that people look at the top visual and like people remember the tragedy of that time, and then they're
Mhm.
like, oh, it's happening all over again, and who is the
Yeah,
common cause? Modi, like that.
yeah. Yeah, of course, these are not related.
Yeah.
For one, 2002 was much worse, and Modi's role was not in burning it exactly, but you know how it is.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. It's a whole like nest of ants.
Mm.
But
Anyway, so this all seems to be basically Modi visiting or someone in the BJP visiting Hyderabad, and like that seems to be the impetus for this kind of like bye Modi kind of thing. Basically, just pointing out like like bad economic performance, bad like basically just pointing off your standard kind of things, right? Your
hmm.
that this thing is bad and like this thing is going badly and all that kind of stuff.
The problem with these like hashtag searches is
Hmm.
that they show mostly chronologically. So now I
Hmm.
am seeing all these 3 like, 1 like, 0 like posts, but
Hmm.
we are not really getting why that hashtag was trending, like the popular
Mm.
posts.
Yeah, but like that is always difficult.
Yeah. Okay. But anyway, yeah, this I would say like okay, so just as a footnote to this, what is your opinion on this type of advocacy that we just saw in that pic, right?
How
Uh,
do you mean?
so in terms of its effectiveness in
Well,
changing like the people in the middle wale ka mind.
I know. Honestly, I don't know. For one, I am skeptical how many people are left in the middle in the
Hmm.
year 2022.
Hmm.
For two, like it's, I don't know. This doesn't seem like political advocacy. It just seems
Hmm.
like random. I mean, it doesn't seem like active political advocacy, like in the sense of like a organized message
Hmm.
oriented kind of thing. This just seems like a meme. This just seems like a meme some guy made. This one seems slightly more like constructed,
Hmm.
but like the previous one with the trains and stuff, that just seems like a meme someone made. It doesn't seem very organized in the sense of this thing.
Not very well structured.
It's not structured like at
Hmm.
all. It's not meant. It's not. It doesn't make points like
Hmm.
it doesn't make points like this thing. It's just something that like someone thought it was smart. You know.
Yeah, but
It's
yeah,
not
so
this for example is much more like organized because it directly makes points.
hmm.
Like you can say like the implication of this is that like Ambani has gotten like this thing from the government, Adani has got this thing from government, and now
Hmm.
common man is like basically just facing all the sort of problems because of all of this stuff. It's
Yeah. Oh, okay. So you were right. Modi has zero contribution towards Hyderabad's development. Hyderabad will give zero to BJP in coming days. Hmm. I think it is about
KCR.
it.
Yeah, I think I had also heard that KCR made some kind of speech.
Who?
Uh, K. Chandrasekhar Rao. I
I
think he's
think
Telangana
I think I saw
Chief
that. Hold
Minister.
on.
Yeah, he is.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what he said, but like this seems to be. Oh, he's. Oh, it was. Oh, he spoke in Hindi. I did not know.
Is this like a what party is he from?
Uh, Telangana Rashtra Samiti K TRS.
KTRS. Okay. Oh,
KTR. I don't know.
KTRTRS. KTRTRS.
Yeah, TRS is the party. KTR seems to be his name. Not him, but not the PM. This KTR guy seems to be like this thing on the party's online guy. You know.
Uh, okay. So this is all about coal. So
Yeah,
basically,
like the idea is
he's
basically
basically saying that the center is bullying them into.
the center is bullying them to buy coal at a high price
Hmm.
for reasons.
Yeah.
This is at this point we are very much at like very local level
Yeah, we are deep into.
opposition.
Yeah. No, but yeah. So I guess like that context was different. But yeah, you know what I feel? I feel like there has to be somebody like I don't think I am that smart. I don't know people who are that smart. I know people who are ideologues. Okay, I know people who like repeat what the people that they follow like say, but
Right.
somebody has to have like a coherent strategy to sort of have like like to because we were talking
A
about
more
this, right?
you're talking about like a slightly more ideologically motivated Prashant Bhushan, someone who keeps you on message, like
Hmm.
someone who keeps like political parties who are against Modi like on message all the time.
Yes, exactly. Not just parties. I'm talking about people. Okay. Because what I am more concerned about is people. Right now, people, right, the general voter population who are like, they are either pro Modi or anti Modi. So if you are pro Modi, then you have a coherent thing to work towards Modi. Get
Yeah, because
Modi.
the thing is like, and the thing is, the BJP does also have like a whole structure, right?
Yeah.
With the RSS and like civil, like I maybe institutions might not be the like, 100% correct word, but it is
Hmm.
the closest word I can think of.
Yeah. Yeah, they're
Like
definitely institutions. Yeah.
and like they
And
all
the
kind
student
of
body and
work
all.
together
Yeah.
to achieve what goals they have.
Yeah.
And I mean it's difficult to really build a movement around opposition because like there are so many different reasons for opposition.
That's what I'm
Like
saying. So that's the thing. If everybody is just anti Modi, even if they are in the majority, what will end up happening is like, because everywhere it's like the first past the post type of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just going to end up that okay, you just whoever gets the coalition built a bigger coalition, just they get to form the government.
Mm-hmm.
And and what's happening right now is that uh, it's just this general vague notion of anti-Modi, and that's not good
People are
enough.
anti-Modi because the situation is bad and Modi is in power. Like
Hmm.
and I mean
Hmm.
that's
Hmm. Hmm.
good because Modi is responsible in many ways, but
Yeah.
it also means that it is very easy to like put like a lollipop in front of people and distract them with like Hindu Muslim or like saying this thing, and that is kind of happening now, right, with the whole Zubair thing.
Yeah, and like let's talk about that. Or let's first talk about this actually. Why is this trending? So Supreme Court is compromised.
Oh,
What happened
Supreme
here?
Court is
Yeah.
compromised. This is Sanghi's.
Yeah, but what like I don't know what prompted this.
Uh, I think a Supreme Court Justice
Mm-hmm.
Suryakant or something his name was
Hmm.
yelled, said that Nupur Sharma was responsible for, like morally responsible for the death of that guy who was killed by, by, killed in Udaipur by those like Muslim guys because he
Isn't it
supported.
coming out that that killing was like some proper terrorist cell, not
Huh?
just like
What?
general? Yeah, yeah. So you're talking about the Udaipur killing, right?
Uh-huh.
I was just before starting this recording, I was seeing on the news
Hmm.
that that the perpetrators have been identified as like a branch of like a bigger terrorist
What,
organization.
like ISIS?
Not ISIS. Like, hold on, let me just.
Like JM types? I
Who?
remember seeing they apparently somebody in Udaipur is related to like BJP leaders or something, but like
Uh,
that is sort of.
Hold on. Let me
Mhm.
just properly search for this. Perpetrators. Uh, no, this ATS is involved.
Mhm.
So it is
Yeah, that's
definitely.
okay.
I
I
think
mean,
this will give some. It is some terrorist organization, which
okay.
I think it is that only. Jaish e Mohammed you were talking about, right?
Yeah, JM, yeah.
So, no, okay, this is just news
Like I'm not
articles.
seeing anything because like what I saw because the wire said that apparently there was some relation between the killers and some BJP leader.
BJP.
Uh, yeah, you can actually you might probably find it in the Wireca website itself.
I am on the way right now.
No,
BJP.
in the main on the no in the on the main page, not in this article.
Oh, hold on. Uh, no, I think it is different for us.
No. Go just go back. I am seeing what you are seeing. Go back.
Yeah.
Go back. Go back again. A third one. You see the news about Udaipur? Yeah.
Oh, as photos emerge of Udaipur killers linked to BJP leaders. Party moves to. Okay, is it. Are the news people like just randomly just spewing anything? Because I'm pretty sure I was just seeing that okay, there's some ties discovered between like these killers and like
If this is a news channel, there's a reasonable chance that they are in fact randomly spewing
garbage. Yeah.
because like I'm surprised they didn't just bring up ISIS because it's a nice name, right? You can just say these guys are related to ISIS because
Yeah.
everybody knows what ISIS is.
Was described by local BJP and Rashtriya RSS as dedicated worker of the BJP in a Facebook post less than 2 years ago. What?
This
Oh my god.
Nothing makes sense. I swear to God.
Isha Chanwala, Mohammad Tayyar, influential members of Rajasthan State BJP Minority Morcha and the RSS promoted Muslim Rashtriya Manch. First of all, wow, these things exist.
What the hell is a Muslim Rashtra? What?
It is apparently a thing. RSS promoted Muslim Rashtriya Manch and Rajasthan State BJP Minority Morcha.
No,
And
Minority Morcha, I am only slightly surprised. This Muslim Rashtriya Manch, I am very surprised.
yeah, and there were photographs of Atri posing next to the BJP leaders in the Rajasthan Assembly, Gulab Chand Kataria, and senior Udaipur BJP leader Ravindra Shrimali.
Like, apparently
Wow.
there are like photos and shit.
Oh my
So
god.
it's
So
not
do you think
very.
this is like a false flag basically?
It maybe, I don't know. It's.
You can see my screen, right?
I can see your screen, yeah.
Apparently these are the pictures. So these are the Facebook posts apparently.
Yeah, from November 2009.
19.
Yeah, that is like the general belief that this thing that it's like a false flag and like done specifically so that the like Hindutva people can kind of demonize like Muslims more by getting like a Muslim to kill a Hindu for like for
And not just that, just record it. And then presumably, like, how was that video discovered? Did he post it somewhere?
the killing video.
Yeah, the Udaipur killing video.
They posted it. It was like viral as far as I know. I did not watch it, but like from what I hear, it was supposed to be a viral video.
Yeah, and then so I saw this on Reddit that a lot
Hmm.
of people crying about how that video is getting suppressed, and they're like, "Oh, it must be because like oh they are like supporting in this anti-Hindu like platforms like Reddit
Is this India
apparently."
Speaks again?
Not India Speaks, India Discussion. I don't even browse India Speaks because somebody told me they are full on Nazis, so I just don't.
No, India Speaks, I think, has gone fully sort of like it's basically like Bakchodi, but it's like they speak in English and so they can kind of pretend that they don't believe the exact same shit.
Yeah, but I
Also,
think if
you use New Reddit?
I have only used New Reddit. I joined it was default mode was New Reddit.
God,
So
it looks like this.
yeah,
Uh,
it looks like other social media.
it looks too much like Twitter, you know?
Yeah, it
Oh
does.
yeah, this
Now that
is.
I notice this. So okay, wait, but
Wait,
how?
wait, wait, wait.
Huh,
Scroll up too, please.
this?
Pick any Muslim voice across the spectrum. You will find them condemning what happened. You will not take yatra. Click on the next one.
Hold on.
There are two. But oh, you'd think this is something appreciable, but didn't you really think about it? It's just sinister and tries to downplay the radicalization in the community.
India discussion.
No, 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 no,
These.
no. Wow, this is like inverted proof. Proof that they are not doing it is proof that they are
That they're doing
radicalized.
it.
What?
Yes. No, but that's the thing. These subs are gone, dude. The people on these subs are so far gone. It's unbelievable because literally, like, the enemy is in the walls type of situation. They're so paranoid about everything.
It's not
Okay.
just paranoia. This is like you have come here to prove something, and no matter what the actual reality is, you are going to prove it. If you had found people who are supporting it, then he would have posted that. But now that someone is posting that, if you have now found people that they are against it, then that is apparently proof that they are trying to downplay radicalization. What?
That's what we were like since so many episodes we have been talking about, right? This axiomatic hatred of Muslim people. This is that phenomena at full display here. Is that there is no every piece of information can be molded into Muslims bad.
Mhm.
ठीक है. And that's the thing, because a big sentiment. There was another post here. Let me try to find that. uh, so it was about a lot of people from this sub
Mhm.
going to this ex-Muslim subreddit,
Mhm.
okay, which is like
Mhm.
an atheist subreddit specifically for
Yeah,
people.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm subbed.
Oh, right. And those, so this is apparently, maybe, but at least talking from a
Ex-Muslim,
viewpoint.
ex-Muslim is a sub that is sometimes problematic, but for the most part, they are basically like left-leaning liberal types. Liberal
Yeah.
types. Sometimes socialist, but like generally in that sort of sphere, and
Hmm.
they are like civil libertarians and all of that good stuff.
But yeah, so this person posted that this was something that I didn't even know, because I don't sub to ex-Muslim. That
Mm-hmm.
people from this sub, or like sister subs, go
Mm-hmm.
to ex-Muslim, and then they
Mm-hmm.
try to join in on the chorus of people criticizing Islam,
Mm-hmm.
to sort of, by implication, be like, oh yeah, yeah, we also hate Muslims.
Right.
ठीक है. But there it's like,
And then the sub kind of yells at them because the reasons for hating Muslims like is different. And
obviously, because those people don't hate Muslims, they're like ex-Muslims, so they're like, of course they have reasons to hate
it
Islam.
varies. It
Yeah.
varies. Like most of them don't hate Muslims. A lot of them hate some Muslims. Like maybe they hate like their
Some
family, or they hate like
extremists or
a
some,
lot of
yeah,
their. They might hate like religious figures or people in their community or
yeah, yeah.
something like that. But
But not
in
in
general, they
general.
don't have
Yeah.
like a hatred like this kind of axiomatic katra, right? Like
Yes. And that's the
they
funny
will
thing.
hate
This
it
was
for
very
like a
funny to
particular
me.
reason, and I respect that. Like I can respect that. And but this is just like we this is just like trying to do some random kachra and try to go into like these kind of spaces and then be surprised when they say that, oh no, I am also a religious nationalist. It's just that my religion also hates the religion that you hate. I mean.
Yeah. So, so now that I read this properly, so this
Mhm.
is somebody from this sub only trying to,
Mhm.
like, trying to warn the others, because he
Mhm.
has, what he's done is quoted one comment
Mhm.
from that. FYI, you
Okay,
Hindus are as bad
let's
as.
read. Hindus need to stop visiting ex-Muslim spaces because they hate and despise you. Most of them are radical leftists. They will never understand the position of Hindus. And they think you are just like radical Islamists. Please stop trying to suck up to them. They will hate you even more if you do that. Just a recent comment from their quote. FYI, you Hindus are as bad as Muslims. You keep lurking on the sub, but we hate and despise you just as much. Based.
Let's
If you have
go.
any based, if you have any self-respect, stop trying to ally with them and tell other like-minded Hindus to do the same. Oh my God. First comment 28 upwards. They grew up as Muslims before leaving Islam. While growing up as Muslims, they built enough prejudice against Hindus in their traditions. Apparently, apparently, Hindu
No,
hatred
people
is like
can't
some
just
kind
be
of congenital.
anti-religious.
Huh?
People can't just be anti-religious. They're obviously, no, the ex-Muslims can't be just anti-religious. Okay, they hate all religions. No, it must be that they have built up the hatred for Hindus. So now they just happen to hate Islam as well as Hinduism, but
Yeah,
not
because
like,
like there's some congenital hatred. Apparently, it is like congenital.
yes.
Of Hinduism. Apparently, like if you are born in the womb of a Muslim, if you are like born in the womb of a Muslim woman, you get out of this thing and you're immediately like Hindustan Murdabad or whatever.
No, but this is the funniest thing. No, this guy is like that. Apparently, atheists have a hierarchy of which religions they hate more and which they hate
Wait,
less.
oh my God, no. The prejudice says on even after leaving. So their hierarchical perspective puts them above Muslims first and Hindus below Muslims.
Yep.
Oh,
So
oh.
their perspective is that these ex-Muslim people have a hierarchy of which still have a hierarchy. They just it's the
Imagine
whole.
telling on yourself something like that. Like, like you could put me in like Guantanamo and I would probably, well, eh,
Gitmo couldn't
and you
make you say
couldn't,
this.
and you wouldn't get that out of me.
No, but that's the thing. These people are so far gone. It is impossible to have a conversation, at least on Reddit. I'm sure if there was like an appropriate platform, it would have been like possible. But what happens is that they gang up on you. You say anything and they'll just like first of all downvote you to oblivion, and then all the replies are going to be like people shitting on you. Like I
Yeah,
don't engage with these posts.
to be fair, that is a Reddit issue, not really a ideology issue.
Yeah, but like even if I don't post something which is just telling them to go fuck themselves, even if I
Hmm.
try to sort of logically engage with
Engage.
what they have said, right? Even then it's the same thing. They'll download to oblivion because this repulses them intellectually engaging with anything.
What is I mean, what is this? What is why did when did we allies ourselves with them? We just go to that sub to learn more about the other side of Islam, and when we put out our opinion, they bash us. I don't think any rational Hindu would support them. We support their right to live and practice what they want, but not their right to insult others. Oh wow,
Why
man,
not?
really against
Why?
insulting.
How? What is this arbitrary line? What
What
is
does
this
that even
imaginary
mean?
line?
What do you mean the right to insult others? Everybody has the right to insult others.
Yeah, that's like that's free speech. And
He think
these
is this
people,
like a this is like blasphemy law, but for me.
yeah, and
You
these
can.
people cry
Uh,
the most about these people, specifically the people in this sub. I might have told you this earlier, but
mhm.
this sub is 90% crying about being banned from liberal Indian subs. ठीक है,
Yeah,
नाइन्टी
mostly from
परसेंट
our India, right?
Yeah, mostly from r/India. ठीक है,
Mhm.
and it's these people cry, oh, free speech does not exist in India or what, and it's like these, and now
Like
it turns
90%, and it's so much crying. Like, holy shit. You know what?
Are you
I
seeing the
am banned
homepage
from.
right now?
I am banned from India Speaks. I do
You're
not spend
banned.
my banned. Yeah.
Wow, congrats.
Apparently, I said that. Apparently, I said that what happened to Asifa was wrong, and apparently, this made me like an apologist for Kashmiri Pandits being killed. I swear to God, that is what happened.
Oh my god. But yeah, so they within the first like 4 or 5 posts crying about being banned again.
Oh wow. I just said that India should stay away from politics or let every ideology be heard, and insecure cucks banned me. Let me guess my religion. Let me guess what they said India should stay away from politics meant. Dear liberals, you say you want to be apolitical, yet when people blame the government for something the government did, you say that that is appropriate. Hmm.
Yeah, these guys are apparently
Oh, they're
planning
still
to
crying. If the sub itself is gone, you don't have to worry
they're
about it.
planning to like brigade against it or something, I guess.
भाई
Mass
वो सब
report.
मुझे लगता है कि एक्सटर्नल ओ गॉड भाई
Is
वो
this the
सब मुझे
JQ?
लगता है कि no yeah that like external the Indian version of the JQ is actually somewhat interesting in that it is part of it is JQ and part of it is like it just continues on the sort of politician trend of blaming the foreign hand.
Hmm.
Uh,
Western thing, Western
yeah, Western
influence.
interests.
Yes, yes.
Like the JQ aspect has come recently because people have found that it's easy to blame like Soros.
Yeah.
But
Through cultural
in general,
osmosis, they have or like co-opted the anti-Semitic tropes, but
but
yeah.
like in general, they just kind of do the sort of whole world is against India.
Hmm.
India is this thing. India is fighting against tyranny of whole world.
Hmm.
Uh, the West doesn't want Hindus to rise up or something.
Yeah. 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 So, but that's this entire subreddit is just people. And listen, the thing is, there are. So I have. So you know Washcott, right? You are in.
Mm-hmm.
We've met through Washcott,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
they're also like I think at least 1 year ago, the mods used to be like really really uh, sort of alert. Now they have relaxed a little bit, but at least
Mm-hmm.
at that time it made a little bit of a sense because like the community that had formed, like you could tell who is here to just start shit, right?
Mhm.
Now what we do is we let them do shit and we give them as many chances as possible. But at that point also the mods knew when somebody
Mhm.
is just here to start shit, and they would
Mhm.
proactively be like, hey, go fuck yourself, just they will just kick or ban, right?
Mhm.
And that is the sort of lockdown mode that our India is in right now, that they can tell,
Yeah, that makes sense because some
because you
like a
can
lot,
always look
like
at
it's not
people's
like these
post
people are
history.
coming to like engage in good faith, right?
Yeah, so let's say this guy just said made it easy for you. You don't have to worry about the sub if you can't participate in it from the moderators. It is
Yeah, that's
possible that the moderators went through this dude's search history, like not search history,
post
post
history. Yeah.
history on Reddit. So yeah, so
Mm.
it's so you from your perspective, you can take the screenshot and say that oh you're victimized. But you know what is the guarantee if I don't click on your username right now, I will not find something TOS breaking,
Mhm. Yeah,
right?
to be fair, like they won't mind because they support it. So
Yeah, exactly. So they're like this whole sub is about crying, about victimization.
I think the endless crying is just what makes it funny. Anand
Exactly.
Rangnathan. Oh yeah, Anand Rangnathan. Wait. Please click on the next one. Next picture. What?
A black day for the Indian
Oh
judiciary.
no. Look at both of them.
Wait, only two kinds of people in a democratic nation: one who respect the judiciary and the other who think they are the judiciary.
Hmm.
Okay, and now what? A black day for the Indian judiciary. There's no opposition. Yeah, what? Like I. What is a funny thing?
The funny thing is that Anand Rangnathan says that when it supports him, he says that supporting the judiciary is un is out. Supporting the judiciary means only if you support the judiciary, then you are like
Oh,
real
okay.
democracy. And then when
Yeah.
the judiciary says something he doesn't like, he is like the judiciary is trying to murder Nupur Sharma.
Hmm. So no, so it is consistent. No, so the people he does not recognize the people like the Supreme Court of
Yeah, but
India as the judiciary.
how is there is no world in which the Supreme Court of India is not the judiciary.
No, you have to understand. Some people are not living in our world. Some people do not share the same version of reality that we do. I'm telling you, this is all like
I do want to see the comments there. Like I do want to see
this tweet's
how
comment,
much
or
crying will happen.
let's see the comments here.
Nothing
Nothing.
ironical.
See,
Yesterday,
see,
whatever
I told
Supreme Court
you.
decision said wasn't a decision or based on anything like evidences, proofs, etc. It was just the judge's opinion.
See, I told you. I told you these guys will not.
It's just an opinion, guys.
These guys will not say, "Oh, this is hypocritical or this is contradictory." No, no, no. This is consistent for them.
When I when I when I said the judiciary should be respected, I only mean anything that is directly given in a verdict. Everything apart from that is like fine. Oh yeah, now great. Respect for someone or something doesn't imply that they are perfect or above criticism. Wow, you should tell that to other people.
वही है ना, they just mold their definition of free speech according to whatever they want to say. So
Hmm.
whatever they want to say is covered under free speech, and whatever they don't like hearing from other people is outside of free speech.
Hmm.
Right. This is the whole sentiment here. And
This is
that's the
just
reason why I'm sub to this, like I have joined this community, but I never engage here, is because of the funny shit like this only.
hmm. I don't know why you hate the Hindu religion because all your posts are saying that Hindu are doing bad on Muslim.
Yeah, where does it say here? It's if
Oh no, he means all his posts. The that
the
dual hat.
OP's post, right?
Yeah.
Coolish
Yeah.
side. Let's see what his response is. So if it's collapsed, that means it got
They are downvoted. Yeah, I know.
downvoted to oblivion. -11, of course.
I do not hate Hindu religion nor any religion. I hate
You
extremist.
see,
But
this is not even engaging. This is just somebody saying, "Oh, मेरा opinion ये है," and they just these are people are crazy. That's why.
but there is extremism in Islam too more than Hinduism. But I am just telling about your posts. This is not a contradiction. This is actually not a contradiction. What? Apparently, Anand Ranganathan was defending Zubair's right to free speech. I mean, good.
No, he was criticizing
Or
the
was the judge defending Zubair's right to free speech?
yeah. So he was
Maybe they could
criticizing
get
like
him out of jail if they think that he is exercising his free speech.
yeah, dude. But so right now that is the thing. So this right here,
Mm-hmm.
this is another core like version of reality
Yeah,
that
it's just what. No, no, no. That's just what about, right?
it is whataboutism, but it is not just whataboutism. It is a principle that you need to learn, sort of. This is
How
like
do you
something
mean?
that uh, what I mean is okay. There is one thing where you disingenuously try to deflect criticism, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
you are like okay, nobody, anybody. So it is disingenuous in the sense that you don't have an investment in either. You just
You just
uh,
want to dunk on one. It's whataboutism. You say
yes.
that, well, if you care so much about extremism, why don't you care about Islamic extremism?
Yeah, yeah.
It's
It
not
is a sort of
false. It's
like
just
I'm not
bad
sure how many.
faith, you know.
It is bad faith, but it is sort of disconnected. So I don't know how many of our listeners would know who Destiny is, but it is the
Mm-hmm.
Destiny thing that I'm talking about, where it is people take up ideological positions for the heck of it. Okay. So that is where a whataboutism comparison would make sense, or a whataboutism definitionally would make sense. What this is not just
Motivated
whataboutism.
whataboutism.
This
Like,
is a core principle. This is a something which is like not even that you say reactively. This is something that you preach proactively. This is what we saw when we saw that post, right? That why
yeah,
are the ex Muslim, not the ex Muslim post,
Nietzsche,
this.
this one. Yeah.
So what is happening here? This is this part, right? Trying to downplay the radicalization. The thing is, in their brains, the worst kind of religiosity is Islam. The worst, absolutely the worst. Okay, so it is not just whataboutism. It is it is
It's just
that
a sort of standard Islam hater. It's the only kind of thing I'm comfortable calling Islamophobia as a general rule,
exactly.
because
This is
because
definitionally
like
Islamophobia.
because it's like it's almost to the point of like uh, Islamic extremism is bad because it is Islamic, not because it is extremism.
Exactly, precisely. So extremism exists everywhere. They acknowledge that openly everywhere. You saw in the comments and all, right?
Mm-hmm,
But
mm-hmm.
Islamic extremism is especially bad. Okay.
Yeah, it's just a religious fundamentalist position.
Yes.
Mera wala अच्छा तेरा वाला बुरा.
Yes, and this is something which is like it is the reason why I said it has to be learned is because this is taught to people. Like whenever people try to join these circles or fall into these circles, I would say it is something
Mm-hmm.
that is pushed constantly to them. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that oh
Yeah,
look, so many cases of violence perpetrated by Muslims are happening 24/7 all over India or all over the
चार
world.
चार
Okay,
बीवी आठ बच्चे.
that all. Like for a young person, that does not matter as much as seeing, oh, look at them burning uh, people, look at them cutting people's head off. Okay, some of those ISIS videos do all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So blowing people up, and it's like they're like, okay, this is not only because these are like terrorists. This is because they're Muslim. They
Yeah,
believe
and
in
the sort of corollary to that is that any Muslim, like even like your neighbor, your the guy who works with you, the guy who the and the guy who runs like the bakery or whatever,
yeah.
any Muslim is basically prone to that.
Exactly, exactly.
and
It's
and
like this
in a
is
way that is
yeah,
and in a way that is not applicable to any Hindu. These people don't think that these people don't think that any kind of their Hindu neighbor or their family friend is prone to become like a head cutting extremist.
and this
but
is one
they
of the
but they
reasons.
do
Yeah,
they do consider that any any like any Muslim they know could become a head-cutting extremist.
Precisely. And this is the reason why, like, Sam Harris's entire existence has been so dangerous. The reason why I brought him up in the earlier episode as well is because he, while being like performatively atheist, was the
No, I don't think he's performative. I do think he's atheist. I just think he also is.
an
I
Islamophobe.
just a Muslim hater is a term I Muslim hating is a term I'm more
He's
comfortable with.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, he's always been able to escape that because he collaborates with an ex-Muslim activist. I don't, the name escapes me right now, but
Majid?
he, huh? Yes,
Majid Nawaz?
yes. He actually has a lot of, yeah. So if you go back,
Majid's a bit of a grifter, yeah. But yeah.
Majid Nawaz and him have a history together. They have collaborated on books. They have given talks together. Like they
Hmm.
have done all that. They have done like very performative debates where it's not that they're really disagreeing, but they're,
Like
that
they're
we
just
agree on the
talking.
same principles, but how to go about it, that sort of debate. Okay.
Hmm.
That okay, Muslims need to be de-radicalized, but how to go about it, that is the disagreement. Like that, they have also had talks like that. But
Hmm.
that's the thing, the biggest contribution to his contribution to the mainstream discourse is the same thing, that it is not just about that people in their social, political, or economic situations turn to extremism, or sometimes it is identity politics, sometimes it is like active oppression that they're trying to fight against that drives them to to radicalization, considering something like Palestine, Gaza Strip, and all that,
Hmm.
right? And not all that. He actively rejects all of that. He's like, why look for these sociological reasons when we can just read their
It's just a
book?
very reductive take. He thinks that extremism is down to religion and only religion.
Yes. And
And
he's
he
like,
thinks it's just
yeah,
and part of it is he think and I don't know and I guess part of it is that he might consider that it's like a product of a specific religion. I don't think he does, but I'm not sure with Harris. um
I have watched an entire debate between him and Cenk Uygur. I don't even know how many people know who Cenk Uygur is. He's
Cenk
like
Uygur is this thing, right? The
the
head
Young
of
Turks,
the Young Turks, yeah.
the founder, the main guy of the Young Turks.
Hmm.
So he had a debate with Sam Harris in 2014, like a proper good debate, I would say.
Hmm.
And that is where I heard all of this. That where Jenk is trying to like give some solid arguments that okay, there are these reasons. There have been research, there has been studies, there has been sort of a sociological analysis of situations where Islamic extremism. So he's like, I recognize Islamic extremism is a problem, but
Hmm.
like the Islamic community is so spread out, and you can't. So you have to understand that Islam cannot be the unifying factor here. That cannot be the common denominator of why there are certain Muslim regions where there is a propensity for violence and certain Muslim regions where there is not. Right, so there must be some other factors, and we can obviously see like Israel is an apartheid state, right? And
Hmm.
you see all of like the Iraq war and all of that, the invasion of Afghanistan by the USSR, then the US involvement, the USS propping up Mujahideen. We can see a direct like cause effect relation to how the extremism has come to grow in these regions, right?
Hmm.
But then he's like, but why look so deep where you can just read their scriptures and read about how it is prescribed that kafirs are to be put to death, and like stuff like that, and all that stuff about 72 virgins, right?
The
And
72 Virgins thing has probably caused more drama than anything else. God.
that is like, I on WatchCode itself, I talked to a Muslim, like a practicing Muslim person, and
Hmm.
he like they were talking about how that itself is like a mistranslation of scriptures that was used by the radical Islamist groups to sort of recruit. That whole thing about 72 virgins and all, that was like a mistranslation from the original
It's just
text.
stupid. Also, it's like at best you can consider it's like equivalent to the sort of like the idea of the concept of like heaven, right? Like
Yeah.
a good like a reward for what good actions.
Christian
Maybe
concept of heaven
maybe a
is
slightly
also.
more lewd concept, even if you take it at face value.
But that's the thing, like even Christian, all these Abrahamic religions conceptualization of heaven has like primarily, like I don't know about the scriptures, but in the public perception has been mostly about all earthly pleasures will be available to you, right?
Yeah.
So why not like, so it's not like uh, this is something which
To
will
be
be
fair,
like.
I don't think. To be fair, Sanghis tend to dislike Christians also, so it's not inconsistent.
I understand that. But what I am talking about is Sam Harris, because in that debate, Jenk tried to bring up how there is a lot of, to say the least, problematic clauses
Aspects of Christianity,
if
yeah.
Christianity of Christian text as well. Because Cenk
Hmm.
Uygur is like a, I would say, I would call him like a fundamentalist atheist, is because he like tries to be balanced in his opposition to all religions. Like he at least is like he has read up a lot, I would say. So he is
Okay.
not like a pure ideologue. He is more of like he has engaged with texts and he has like sort of arrived at positions from that.
Hmm.
And so he was not just doing whataboutism, he was like trying to bring in like a more comprehensive understanding that okay, there are there are like bad parts in a lot of religions, there are, but people always pick and choose. People in every religion, everywhere, at all places, pick and choose what part of their religious text they will believe in,
Hmm.
right? And then what they pick is dictated a lot by their sociological conditions, right?
Okay.
So in a progressive country like the US, right,
Hmm.
like relatively progressive, I don't know how progressive you can call it now, but
Comparatively, yeah.
yeah, comparatively. So it's like okay, yeah, there again the same thing that we talked about, how the Muslim population living in the US are
Is
on an
more
average more
liberal than
progressive,
the this thing.
the Christians, the evangelical or the fundamentalist
Right.
Christians in the country, right?
Hmm.
So it's like
Hmm.
it is the same thing. When your environment improves, when your standard of living gets better, you become more free to sort of pick and choose which part of the religion you want to follow and to what degree you want to implement them. Do you want to keep it to yourself? Do you want to sort of extend it to your family, to your society? How much do you want to care about it? Right.
I, I disagree with this.
Okay. Interesting.
My the US the reason Muslims in the US are more progressive than like white people in the US is because Muslims in the US are like self-selected. I think I'd spoken about this previously
We have
also.
talked about it, but that's the thing. Even if you understand the theory of self-selection, that okay, if you have certain economic freedoms, then you are able to come and settle to the US. But that still is not inconsistent with what I'm saying. It is still, if those people are already in an upper, like relatively upper economic class, that that means like, because
There's no shortage of rich reactionary people.
there is no shortage, but we're talking about averages here. Of course, the same class or the same thing that you can see in something like I was talking to someone about this on Washcard itself,
Hmm.
taking the case of place like United Arab Emirates,
Hmm.
right? So there, and even like uh, so that's where all the oil billionaire people are there, right?
Hmm.
Like I hope I'm not mixing up,
Right,
but
right. Like
but
your typical Middle East, UAE, Qatar, um, this thing, Saudi maybe, not Saudi. Saudi is a bit different,
yeah.
but UAE, Qatar, and all of those places. Yeah.
Yeah, those are which are like rich off of oil. And
Hmm.
so you see the people there, people who are in power, they don't so religiously like follow their doctrine, right? They are
Yeah,
very
part of that is pragma.
obnoxiously, huh?
Part of that is pragmatism. If you want, if you want Dubai or Abu Dhabi to become like a tourist hub, you can't be enforcing like hijabs and stuff.
But I'm talking about them themselves. So of course, like I can't say about that. But let's say something like conspicuous, like consumption, right? So of course you can decorate your cities and make a lot of things available there and make it like all the shit they're doing with building like artificial islands and all that. But
Yeah.
I'm talking about the way that they themselves live is also not like strictly according
Yeah,
to
but no, but people have been hypocrites forever.
exactly.
Lots of anti-abortion people have had abortions. Lot of people in general allow themselves to do things that they don't allow others to do. This is not like unusual.
But what I'm saying is that a factor in people being how hypocritical people are is their level of wealth. These people do not need to worry about getting mob lynched. Okay? These people don't need not worry about getting excommunicated. They are the
To be
ones who
fair,
excuse
excommunication. To be fair, excommunication is a very does it as a concept. How much it exists in Islam, I am is unclear.
no,
Like
but
it's
yeah.
like it's not like there is like a pope sitting there, right? It's not like there is some pope sit. There's not like it's not like there's some Muslim pope sitting in like Mecca and declaring that this person cannot call himself like a Christian or whatever, a
No,
Muslim or whatever.
I'm talking about just general condemnation because so the person that was I was talking to, like they were also saying that they like the general like the global Muslim community sort of when it comes to like the level of religiosity look down on the Emirati princes.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. That's
they consider them those people to be not living according to like Allah or whatever, like the doctrine,
hmm
right? And so they look, but their looking down does not have any effect on them.
yeah, because you're
You
rich.
exactly, that's what I'm saying. Exactly. So that's the thing. So when you have, I'm not saying this is a correlation to how likely you are to abandon your religious principles. I'm talking about there is a correlation between your wealth and how free you are to abandon your religious principles, or how malleable you can be in following them. Does that make sense?
So it kind of makes sense.
But yeah, it's like
It's very off because like this because outside the US it does not really track. The UK, for example, also
hmm,
a rich country,
hmm,
also a country while not perfect is at least like
hmm,
has some level of this thing has some level of like LGBT rights and stuff.
hmm,
And the Muslim population there is
hmm.
significantly more reactionary than the general population, and the general population is pretty fucking reactionary in the UK.
Now that is something I I'm not sure about.
Because in that case, I don't know how much of it is how much of it is more of its selection because because I think I remember support for like a family member being LGBT for the general population. I think it was like 60%, and for I suppose for Muslims I don't really have numbers because they're separated by nationality, not religion. But
Okay,
the striking number for me was Pakistanis. Do you know what percentage acceptability is of an LGBT family member?
I would expect it to be very low.
Guess,
To be frank, like
guess.
20.
Two,
Oh shit!
2%.
Oh my god. Okay, even while living in
In
the
the UK.
UK,
In the UK, yes.
that is worrying.
It is.
Yeah.
And like I don't know, it's the reason why I don't buy a lot of very simplistic sort of
Hmm.
viewpoints like this. It's not just wealth. It is wealth, but
Hmm.
it is not just wealth, you know? It's
There could be a compounding level of
yeah,
factors. Yeah.
yeah. Like it's because and like a lot of nouveau riche types also uh like are pretty this thing. Like for example, I understand there is part of it is definitely pragmatism. It's the reason why, for example, Mohammed bin Salman, he I think it was his government which started allowing women to have like driver's licenses for the first time. Uh, Again, uh, because of like economic pragmatic sort of views. Uh, um, but beyond that, like I don't think it for that matter, I don't think it is like religious, like in the sense of like this is something that only one religion does and no other religion will do, or at least no other religion will do as badly. That is horseshit. That is something. Uh, 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 these are social forces that apply, and these are social forces that apply everywhere. It could happen to you. It could
Hmm.
happen to me.
Hmm.
It's it's just a difficult thing to it's just a difficult thing to study because to be to be frank, I am not a big fan of the anti Nupur Sharma protests, even though I think what she did was horrendously irresponsible.
Yeah.
But like I don't support blasphemy laws. I can't like
Yeah. No, no, no. I agree with that. I don't think it should be something which is like, of course, if it is a matter of law, definitely I'm not on board
no,
with
no, no.
any.
I do think Nupur Sharma should have been arrested. I do like the fact that she is not is a travesty. But she was not. She should not be arrested for blasphemy. She should be arrested for like making deliberately provocative statements.
I understand. So what you're saying is, yeah, yeah. So with
If for
using a
instance,
platform, where a person with her platform knows,
if if
yeah,
yeah, this is a public spokesperson. You cannot allege that this is some kind of you cannot say that this is like just a person's
someone's
opinion.
private free
Yeah, this
speech.
this is a public spokesperson for a national party.
Yeah.
It's okay for her to lose her job, I think, but I do think it should go beyond that. Like at that, if you take that kind of job, you have to take those kind of consequences.
But that's the thing, yeah. But uh, um, I think this is sort of like on both ends trying to provoke this antagonism. So this is an antagonism that's like from Hindu to Muslim, and then all the Udaipur killings that are going viral, like the videos and the news.
There seems to be another one
What?
killing. I don't know if it's a killing, but something seems to have happened.
Oh, is it on Twitter?
Uh, for killing.
No, 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 no. I think there are people who
Amravati.
are.
Oh yeah, some chemist in Amravati got killed apparently.
Wow.
They didn't put a video, but they were caught on CCTV.
Yeah. Some of these murders can just be like normal murders, right? Like
They they,
just
they
for
were
other reasons.
apparently like they were apparently specifically over supporting Nupur Sharma.
Hmm. God damn it. This is the thing,
In the
right?
12 days since the murder, the police arrested 6 people but had not linked it to Nupur Sharma's comment until this morning. So it is possible that there is this thing. It is like a coincidence that they had some enmity with him and he also supported Nupur Sharma because what they say is he had shared some post on WhatsApp groups.
Hmm.
Shock. Uh, but like it doesn't seem to be very clear like like the but you're right, there is no like one to one correlation of the like with Udaipur. With Udaipur, the correlation was direct because they literally put a video up. Here, there doesn't seem to be as much of a correlation. It just seems to be seven Muslim guys all killed a Hindu guy who also supported Nupur Sharma. So like maybe the causation is different,
Yeah, but the thing is, like, this is the reason why it's like, it's a
but
really
it's not a
difficult.
good look.
That's what I'm saying. That this is the reason why it is so difficult being, uh, like, like,
Left-leaning progressive person in this country, yeah.
yes, because, okay, the thing is, it is it is so difficult being also not just progressive and left leaning, but also
Mhm.
like sort of publicly, like outwardly atheist. Okay, is because it's like, okay, I don't want to play defense for any religion. Okay, I'm very uncomfortable with that. And in our last 30 minutes of conversation, you might have like so not you, but anyone could have construed that as me playing defense for Islam. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
but the thing is, I don't want to do this because I understand, you know what, like I understand more than a lot of people who claim to be anti-theist how religion radicalizes people, right? Because people like sort of have a surface level understanding from news articles, especially I'm talking about like western like leftists and progressives. Okay, and but then like I have seen how things like correspond, how the messaging one to one corresponds with action, right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
the thing is that I just want a level playing field. Okay, because the easiest thing for me to do, and this is the reason, this is the thing, like this is the trap that a lot of that early 2010s wale atheists fell into, is that it is so
Amazing atheist follower types who then became like radical
reactionaries. Yeah,
anti-Islamists, anti-Muslims. I mean, sorry.
but that's the thing, that it is so convenient, it is so easy to be, to make your entire anti-theist advocacy about Islam. It is so easy. Okay, you will never run out of content if you just become an anti-Muslim person or
Yeah,
anti-Muslim activist, advocate, whatever.
yeah.
Okay,
And part of
there,
it, I do think, is content because I mean, a lot of grifters have kind of benefited from that because it is, to put it boldly, good, a never-ending stream of content. And
yeah,
but the fact that the fact that it's a never-ending stream of content is in itself a problem. But then you are dealing with two problems, right?
yeah.
One is the problem of like re- religions and religious people acting badly, and
Hmm.
then there is the sort of other problem where people are reacting and then being bigoted towards other people, all people of that religion. You know?
That's so that is the, so right now nobody is ready for the conversation where, and this is the thing which I like so desperately want people to understand more than anything, is that like I value a belief or a faith in something greater, whatever you want to call it, or like one god, multiple deities, whatever. Okay, the the thing is that like religion is primarily right now a social categorization, and and it is weaponized right now as an identity. That's the issue. So when we fight against so much of like the identity categorizations, right? So a very simple example, race, right? People try to be like, okay, let's not be racist, guys, right? And it's like, okay, a big part of that advocacy is of course saying that, okay, racial categorizations are arbitrary, they're not scientific. Modern scientists, modern people who study genes and all don't even consider race as a meaningful category anymore, right? So a lot of this is arbitrary, and a lot of it is like it is made up, your identification with a particular racial group and your feelings about
These
it.
are not like truths,
Yes.
like in the sort of in a sort of objective sense.
Yes, but now whenever you try to shift the same, just replace the word race with religion. Okay, the thing is that when it comes down to reality, it is the same situation with race, as like I would say it is an even less uh, uh, you know uh, defensible categorization than race, because at least with race there is some obvious characteristics that people can defer to, that oh, they look different than us or whatever. Okay, but when it comes to religion, something that is so much of a social construct, there are different degrees of things being a social construct, right? And it being so arbitrary, so much of an ethereal thing, so much of a vague thing, right? It is, but the moment you start talking about that is like everybody stops listening to you. It's not even a negative reaction, they just stop listening to you.
Mm.
And I want people to understand that way, because what will end up happening is that because I don't want to end up bullying one particular religion, because even though, okay, I will come out and say it, there are more problems with certain religions right now than others. Okay, I will say it, there are more problems in certain ones than others. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but ideologically I want to oppose all of them. But I know that the moment I like try to fairly start criticizing things and start to like point out, okay, this is a bad effect there. So you saw that what aboutism will come in, you saw that,
Mm-hmm.
okay, there are problems like transphobia or homophobia that are more pronounced in certain religions than others, right? And then it will naturally be like, oh, so you're not just saying it, but you're actually
No,
like,
the idea is when it comes to religions, for what, for reasons justifiable or not, nobody thinks you can make nobody thinks you can make arguments that offend a religion in good faith.
no, but yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Which is why when people say, which is why anytime you criticize a religion, the responses often seem to be very whatabouty.
yeah, and that's what worries me is that, like, when I start, when like any time I start talking about this. So when I was also talking about the economic class as a predictor for how radical you are, right? So my thing is not just, okay, this is explained through economic class, let's just forget about it. My thing is more of like, but it is still a factor, and people like you and me, like people who are not the upper 1%, need to worry about it more, because the people at the 1%, the top 1%, don't need to worry about it as much. They will become buddy buddy with any religion, right? They,
Yeah.
regardless of what they follow, and they will let go of any customs that they are, contrary to their lifestyle. Okay,
Mhm.
but not us, not the 99%. The 99% have to always like keep in mind social norms and always be in fear of prosecution by our own religious communities.
Mhm.
And like, so what I was trying to say is that it is, so if you try to be like comprehensively an anti-theist, right? You, it is
Everyone
so,
hates you.
it is so likely that
Everyone
you will,
hates you, basically.
yeah, and you will end up criticizing is like Muslims more than other religious groups. If you try to be like impartial, right? The virtually impartial, that okay, no matter the religion, I will criticize whatever is the worst, right? You will end up appearing Islamophobic. And that's the thing that I like, that is the thing that I hate, that situation that the world is in right now. Is that it's like now I just want like a playing field. I just want people to be more uh, nuanced about things, right? Does that make sense?
I just want people to not be bigoted. There are n number of people. There are n number of justifiable reasons to hate any number of people.
Yeah. The thing is,
I just
yeah,
I guess I guess it's why I guess it's why I feel like economic development is so important, because
yeah,
that
definitely.
maybe hopefully due to the lack of frankly most other options, I
Yeah.
feel like that is something that will most likely get at least have a chance of reducing these kind of like so many frictions and like this thing.
For sure, because it's not rich people burning trains. It's
Yeah.
not, it's not like lakpatis who are going out and even protesting. They don't land their feet on the road even. Okay, they don't walk on the same land as you, like as the people who are marching and doing dharnas and doing Bharat Bandhs and all that. They are
No,
there safe.
but that was done for economic reasons. Like,
Huh?
but like
No, but
the
huh?
for the like the this thing was done for economic reasons.
No, no, I'm
The
talking about even
Agni
communal violence. I'm talking about even like not this, not the Agnipath thing. I'm talking about
mm,
instances of communal violence also.
mm.
So there are leaders. I know there are people again,
But the
agents who,
leaders are fairly like upper like this thing, right?
yeah, but they don't like they have fail safes. They have they have their own out. They have their own back doors. The common people don't. They can take
Right,
certain risks,
right.
right? For them, there isn't ever any move that they make where they're like, okay, no matter what happens, I will ideologically, I will execute this action. It's always something which will reward them tremendously, and always something that if it backfires, they have a way out.
Mm.
And
I mean, I hope so.
that's why the common people need to worry more. The common people need to worry more than anyone else. Is that the rise of like right now the like Islamophobia leaning communalism is much worse for us.
I think the
We'll
rise
suffer
of
more.
Islamophobia in to the extent that it like to the current like massive extent that it has is I think part of it is cross-class collaboration for religious purposes
Oh yeah, definitely.
because it's not just a question of poor people. It's a question. It sometimes feels like the worst of both worlds, where the rich, where like uh, plutocrats are di- are sort of robbing people of jobs and stuff, and of a better life.
Hmm.
Plutocrats are robbing people of a better life,
Hmm.
and then to placate them, there is this sort of
From the other end, there is all the radicalization.
to placate them or to distract their anger. They're
Hmm.
kind of aiming it at their joint enemies.
Yeah. That is all like this is not even like something that is like a conspiracy, but this is like the nature of things. This is
Right.
the like natural order of how these things shape up, and yeah, but like not to get too distracted from what we were talking about.
I
I
guess part of
Yeah.
it is just like you kind of just hope for uh, you just kind of want some maybe economic progress along with civil libertarianism,
Hmm.
and once that happens, hopefully it helps. I don't know.
Let's see,
I'm
but yeah,
just
trying to be
it's
optimistic.
not a very good time to be it's not a very good time to be optimistic and also trying to fight off depression looking at the world, you know.
And yeah, this is it is difficult to engage with all of this because it's like you sort of know what's happening, but the thing is like nobody listens to you, and also you can't really do anything about it. So neither can you like get people on board with you, nor can you yourself at your own level do something about it. Right? It's like even that is the reason why I'm also like very disappointed in the liberal advocacy here. Like so much of it is
Right.
so limp wristed type, like like casual hand waving. Yeah, like for example, right, the post that is on my screen right now.
Wait, let me see.
Uh, yeah, just
Yeah.
so this is of course like them crying about okay, India r/India is like a liberal sub, but a
Mm,
lot of it like all the sentiment that they're talking about, what happens is that it like oh this country is fucked fake and India be like Modi equals Hitler and all that, is that like nobody's minds get changed, nobody gets like De-radicalize nobody, and they don't want it, as you said.
My worry is that I get what you're saying, but I always kind of worry that like it's past the point of trying to change people's minds.
Then what, dude? Like, okay, you and I, we can say that, okay, maybe you and I can't change. I'm talking about the like national liberal community. Okay, I don't, I, it is hard for me to believe it, or hard for me to accept it, that they have all also given up. That's the thing that I struggle with.
Nihilism has been a part of Indian politics since at least the 1970s.
What is it?
Nihilism.
I guess this is not even nihilism. This is pessimism. Nihilism is just, okay, whatever happens, we are unaffected by it. But pessimism is, yeah, I am very sad. I am very, like, feel very disempowered, but also, like, nothing I will do will ever make things better.
Yeah, that's nihilism.
I mean, yeah, I mean, whatever.
Nothing I
Let's,
do is nothing, like even no matter what I feel about it, nothing is going to like it's not going to make any difference. That is like textbook nihilism, and it's been happening since, I mean, since before independence, but like in post-independence India, it's at least since the 70s.
yeah, but what I think is the difference is the your reaction to it. So ideologically, like somebody, an ideal nihilist would be unaffected by the bad things around them, where they will, it will be equally meaningless to them as the good things, right? So they will also not try to be like, they'll not cry about it online, is what I'm saying. Okay, but the pessimism or the doomerism, what we call,
Mhm.
right, is is crying about it also, and not really trying to be constructive, or like trying to find a way out of it, or like falling into the same traps that are not constructive but just give you emotional catharsis, like, just saying some
I
insults on
guess, but
Twitter.
like it just, when you, I guess when you feel like, I guess when you feel for, because there is no other word I can think of for it. When you feel doomer because you feel like the world is beyond saving,
Yeah,
you just whine, you know,
yeah, and this
because you
is
feel like nothing else can be done.
that's all that like Indian liberal advocacy has devolved into, whining. And people are like capitalizing on that whining. So you, even like you must know the what is it called, Deshbhakt? No,
Deshbhakt?
the Deshbhakt, the YouTube channel.
Uh-huh.
You watch it?
I do.
Yeah, but also like
I don't
they
think he
try to put,
whined.
no, they don't whine. That's what I'm saying. But at the heart of it, it's also not. I don't know how constructive it is. That it's like a lot of it is pointing out. So they put a comedic twist on it. They don't
Mhm,
doomer, right? There's like, okay, let's see what happens. Let's see how they deal with the negative consequences of what they're doing now and all that, right?
mhm,
But at the
mhm.
end of the day, like, what policies do they support, or what politicians, what parties, what do they have a call for action for the people that are watching them?
In terms of policy, yes, typically.
Yeah, I mean, okay, yeah, so I guess
Not
I've
in
not
terms of
watched.
political parties, but the thing is, when you, I think you kind of have to do that because otherwise you cannot really appeal to people. And if you have a lot of
The
people
right
and a
wingers are
significant
doing it.
portion of the country is like pro Modi, or even if, but there's if there's a significant portion of the country that is pro Modi, but like not completely married to the guy, I think that is what he's taking his chance on.
No, but I'm talking about more about calls to action, or sort of like appeals to your intellect, sort of thing. So
Yeah, I
you
think
know
like in what sense?
So I this is not me condemning Deshbhakt. I have not watched enough of them. I have watched their coverage of the financial budget earlier this year.
Hmm.
Uh, when most of it, like, it is very, I would say, like, commercialized. They're thoda, like, typical YouTube fashion. Like, it's fine. It's okay to
Yeah, I
run
know the
after
ads. I
views.
have seen the
Yeah,
ads.
Yeah, yeah. But also, like, what would be an ideal, like, a thing would be, because all the right wingers are doing it. So the right wingers are not only like, oh, there are so many Muslims and they are all bad. What do we do? They're like, no, go out and kill them.
Yeah, because
Right.
they have a numerical advantage, they have an institutional advantage, they have a like they have the scales are bent in their favor in nearly every way imaginable. Like this is not an equivalent analysis.
No, but no, no, no. We are not talking about this and something else. But what we are talking about is okay. We so let's if we talk about majority and minority, right?
Hmm.
Uh, okay, so sure, Hindus like
Like
Muslims are a
someone
minority.
someone like Ovesid can do that, and he does do that. It just also leads to issues.
More problems. No, no, no. I'm not talking about from. So I'm not right now. I'm not talking about Muslim versus Hindu. I'm talking about left versus right or liberal versus right. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
So where the right is like yes, actively you need to take back your country type of sentiment.
Hmm.
Okay. On the our side,
Are you talking
whatever.
about, are you relating this to like the abortion thing in the US?
No, no, no. I don't believe in like. I don't think there are direct analogies between U.S. and Indian politics.
Hmm.
There are analogies between political actors. Individual actors can be analogous through purely through cultural osmosis, but
Hmm.
I don't think the dynamics are similar. Uh,
Hmm.
but when we talk about this thing, our side of the political spectrum, right? The
Hmm.
progressive, liberal, lefty, whatever you want to say,
Hmm.
it's mostly look at these idiots. It's mostly look at these radicals. Okay, and
Hmm.
what? Laugh at them, okay, or cry about them, okay, or condemn them, okay. But then what? Something actionable, right? Something actionable is what is required. And that action need not be like them. I'm not saying okay, take to the street, do the same thing that they are doing, but inverse the roles. What I'm more talking about is give them something to sort of like give them like some sort of uh like actionable item, something which is more of like community building. Okay, go out and talk, go out and build your network, go out and encourage people to vote, go out and try to educate people in a certain way, try to adapt to your situation. How educated are the people around you? How they can like, is it something that you can do on the internet or through WhatsApp, or is it something that you can do in person better? Things like that, on the ground stuff.
I That is kind of partly true, but in general, maybe this is a trend that has been starting more recently also, because I do think that he has gotten at least slightly more radicalized by how quickly this country has been going into the toilet.
Hmm.
Because he doesn't like say go on the streets and march, or go on the streets and this thing.
Hmm.
I think part of it is definitely nihilism, because it is part of a sort of Indian tradition of political analysis,
It's sort of
and
disaffectedness, this sort
it's
of,
a kind
yeah.
of kya hoga, you
Yeah.
know. It's the
Yeah.
reason why it's the reason why so many people just think that the best solution is to, just leave, because they don't
Yeah.
feel like there is any hope here.
You're right. And even like we have talked about it, how when we start focusing on the so called economical issues, when we start talking about, okay, maybe there should be more schools, a lot of the people, and this is like not young people, this is like older people, they all are like, India में पैसा ही नहीं है. India does is not a rich country. We cannot run more schools. We cannot like this sort of like uh, uh, like this summary rejection of things can get better economically. Okay,
It's a summary rejection that is typically based on fact, unfortunately.
there can be. So that's what I'm saying. You and I, maybe not. I don't have any political science or any degree as such, right? But I believe there are smarter people who can put their minds to think and come up with not just like pointing out the flaws, but like, okay, what to push for, right? Draft something, or like, there are people I know. In fact, I know uh, there's a person called Robert Drezel. Do you know about him?
Robert Drezel?
Yeah, he is. You should know about him.
Drezek?
No, hold on. So he is somebody who's primarily an activist in India,
Mm-hmm.
and he is an economist
Do you
by.
mean like Jean Drez?
Yes. Okay.
Name is not Robert.
अरे मुझे I
Jean.
have.
Jean. Jean Drez.
All right. Yes. This dude. This guy. Exactly this guy. So he's
Mm-hmm.
kind of doing the thing that I'm talking about. But the thing is, he's so obscure. Like he's very obscure. I did not
Jean
know
Drez
about
is. Uh, I mean, he is well known in the field. He's just
in the
obscure in
field of
like a public
economics,
sense.
but not in general like people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. That makes. Yeah.
But I know someone who is like, who has like sort of worked directly with this guy, and like for protests and like advocacy and all that. And so the thing is that the person that I'm talking about, who is like familiar with and has worked with genres, he's
Mm-hmm.
like, that person is like purely an ideologue, and that's like my issue with him, is
Mm-hmm.
that his, like, any conversation that I try to have with him is very limited to the point of view of the people that he's influenced by. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And not really constructive in the sense of applying yourself, applying your thing, but be very disaffected, very sort of like, if I try to engage with him, it's like trying to talk to somebody about their job when they hate their job, right? So if somebody starts talking to me about programming, which I do for living,
Mm-hmm.
but I hate talking to anybody about computer science, programming, anything. Okay.
Okay.
Like, no, like randomly, casually, if somebody starts to strike up a conversation about, hey, can you help me out, I straight up, I'm like, no, please. Okay. So
Okay.
the thing with him also is like, it's not like me, it's not like he directly refuses, but it's more of like, क्या कर सकते हैं, कुछ नहीं होना, like. And he's somebody who's directly involved with like on the ground like activity, sorry, what do you call it, advocacy, or what do you call, activism, what is the verb for activism?
What do you mean? Wait.
The act of being an activist, what do you call that?
Activism.
No, activism, advocate, no. Okay, I'm mixing
Advocacy.
up. Advocacy, yeah, like on the ground, like action. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But he's also so disaffected, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's not like the way that I'm saying, he'll not react that way, but it'll be mostly like, okay, yeah, what, so if I try to sort of have a back and forth, so I try to have a back and forth about, okay, what is the political like strategy that we should go for now
Mm-hmm.
to, so that, let's say, Modi does not get re-elected, and he's like, yeah, it's anyone but Modi.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, but don't you think that's like more of a scattershot approach, and it will end up with Modi getting re-elected, because if everybody is voting for anyone but Modi, will not have a majority for any one party or any one
Yeah, because
candidate.
yeah, so you have. I think the issue with that is because of this thing. It's like because
Lack of
a
a
lot of
proper
there is no
leader.
you
Yeah.
cannot have like an because there isn't like a this thing a sort of unity because around like a single party because the aims are kind of not the same, you know?
Yeah, not even a party. I'm talking about, even I'm talking about political ideology. Okay, parties can be different. That's fine. At least some basic principles that a party group of parties agree on. Okay.
Yeah, the issue is you have to get good luck getting them to agree on that.
But
You think
whatever,
Mamata
and
Banerjee is like a you think Mamata Banerjee is like a civil libertarian?
I don't know, but at least,
Mamata
okay,
Banerjee
we
is not
can,
a civil libertarian.
no, but we can start with very basic stuff. We can start with, okay,
The issue is
reducing.
get Modi out of power is not a very unifying thing. A lot of people want to get Modi out of power. The issue is they all want themselves to become like the leader.
Hmm.
And the issue is any kind of political union that relies on these disparate interests, kind of these wildly disparate interests coming together, is a political movement doomed to fail.
But also, like, what brings it all together, what has brought a lot of like people on the right side together, a charismatic personality, right? Some a figure to get behind Modi, right? And I guess that is also a factor. We don't have that. Like, we don't have a singular, like don't
We
have a
did.
singular, huh?
We did.
As in
Do
who?
you not do you not remember which state I am from?
Mumbai. So no, sorry, not Mumbai. Like Maharashtra. Uh, oh, are you
Name.
talking about Anna Sare?
No, I am
Uh,
talking about erstwhile Prime Minister Uddhav Thackeray.
oh, that. No, but yeah, but that's just one state. No, but we are talking about like national, like
At national level, it's going to be 10 times harder, especially
yeah,
without the kind of media control the right wing enjoys.
they enjoy like TV and cable and radio and all that, right?
Yeah,
We
that is functionally all the media.
we still have the internet. We like, why is it only the ridiculous stuff that becomes WhatsApp forwards? Why is it not like more like liberal progressive stuff that becomes WhatsApp forwards or
It
goes
does, but
viral on Twitter?
I
Like,
because
in
again,
proportionally it's very less, right?
I do like I think the part of it is that you just want. I think this is part of what part of why I feel someone like Deshbhag's hands are kind of tied. You can at most give people information
Hmm.
and and hope that they will vote in their interests.
That is
The
a
issue
bad
is
mentality.
that is, I mean, like at that point you have to kind of believe what you want. Like at that point you have to kind of say what you have say, give people facts and give people context and then kind of hope, because you cannot really force people to support people they will not support. You can't get most Muslims to vote for Modi. You can't get most non crazy people to vote for
Anyone
I
except
don't know.
Modi.
Like you can't force people. All you can do is say that this is happening, this has happened, this is not in your interest, this is in your interest, and then you
Hmm.
kind of have to hope, because otherwise what you're doing because otherwise then you are kind of in a position where you have rejected democracy, and if you reject democracy, the right wing is better at rejecting democracy than you.
I am also not talking about, because even right wing, whatever success that they have enjoyed with still remaining within democracy only, right? So its popular vote has like gone twice to BJP. It is not as if like the elections happened under some extraneous circumstances where something must have messed with the results. The popular vote has gone easily to Modi twice, right?
Hmm.
Uh, so I am also not talking about like sort of how do you even force people. I don't even know how you force, like how do you force votes of an entire nation. What I'm talking about is more.
Stalinist overtake.
Nah, I don't know. But what I'm talking about is like not ideologues, but more critical thinkers. So more, so because this is another thing. Like I also think we also are like really recording
Two
for
and a
quite some
half
time.
hours.
Yeah, but just last one point that we can discuss it, like maybe you can also like give your opinion on it. One thing that I see happen a lot in the extreme right wale circle, especially in India, is that you are never actually told that you are being brainwashed, or not even told. I mean, it is never made apparent, okay, at all in any way. How they do it is, oh,
They
so
give you
so
selective details and then they let you come to your own conclusions.
exactly. They filter out a bunch of facts, filter out a bunch of texts, right, from like obviously ideological people, and then they're like, okay, draw your own conclusions. So
Yeah,
there is,
and then people are even stronger in their beliefs because they believe they came to it themselves with no like direct.
yeah. So if you talk to somebody who is like rabidly anti-Muslim, okay, I'm
Hmm.
talking rabid anti-Muslim. You
Hmm.
talk to them, they will not say what I am saying. So I say that their ideology can be distilled down to Muslim bad. They will not say Muslim bad. They will say, how can Muslim be good when you
If they
consider these
follow X,
facts?
if they follow X, and if
Yeah.
there are so many people doing
Yeah, if
X,
you look at all
etc.
these instances from the scriptures, if you look at all these instances from the news, how can they be good? So for them, they have joined the dots in their brain.
Yeah,
Okay, but with so something similar. So this the dots are all like bad dots and like wrong dots, obviously,
and
but
contextually removed from context. But yeah,
when we try to sort of advocate against them, we try to rally against them, our advocacy is like simple, they're all idiots, okay, and they're all
I
like,
don't think I don't think I think part of it is you have to kind of do the they are all idiots because otherwise you come across as partisan. The right wing doesn't have that problem because the right wing doesn't care about coming across as partisan.
yeah.
Like for someone like and it is difficult to defend other parties because then you are kind of always open yourself up to, you know, the misdeeds of every other party, especially the Congress, because the Congress is hilariously difficult to defend when it comes to,
Yeah, dude.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, I know.
everything.
I know.
So, so because of that, you kind of like when it comes to that itself, already you are kind of at a disadvantage. But like I think part of it is just you kind of have to give people facts. You have to give people the full context. You have to give people. You have to tell people how this is impacting their lives, their personal lives, like how government policy affects people's lives, and government policy does affect people's lives.
Yeah.
And and then you kind of have to hope that they will vote in their interests. Either they will vote for someone who is giving them what improves their lives, or they genuinely kind of push the party they support into supporting those policies, because beyond that there is frankly not a whole lot that you can do. You can uh, there is outside of course like power power
Power
seizures
grab. Yeah.
in a sort of coup d'etat way. But I think it is obviously made more complicated by the fact that by the sheer fact of media control. And for what it's worth, I do think 2014 happened, and and subsequently 2019 happened because of media control. uh, so and because once you have media control, it is difficult to kind of it's difficult to kind of really think outside of those terms, you know. Uh it's just like you kind of do what you have to do, and then if there is some sort of spontaneous people's movement, you just kind of hope that what things proceed in the right way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean,
Because anything
yeah.
beyond that, you are kind of flirting with sort of this thing. You are flirting with uh, full-on anti anti-democracy types, where you are kind of you are going to kick out the BJP no matter what people want. And there are benefits to that, but it also leads to significant strife and violence, and
It
you
sets a
don't
bad
know.
precedent.
And
Yeah.
like that is not going to cause a. Please. Thank you. And that is going to keep causing issues in the future, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, but I am definitely never for that. I just, it is like, I guess it all starts with yourself, whatever you think. So that's why at my level, I'm trying to do certain things. But um, I just feel so. What I was talking about, the joining the dots, right? And the dots being like really bad dots of information. I just feel like people need to be given more newer dots, better dots to connect,
Mm.
and not just simply dots which are like, okay, this is something that, because that's, those are single points. So the dot should not just go at, okay, whatever the government is doing is bad for you. The dot should go from whatever the government is doing is bad for you, and now this is something that you can like sort of do about it, or this is something that you should believe in. It is the belief in certain things that is leading to this. So if a right winger can say belief in Islam can lead to becoming a terrorist or whatever, right, then this sort of education needs to be given to, like, from our end as well, that a belief in this and that, a belief in these sort of ideologies, these sort of theory, this sort of mindset is what leads to your own life getting worse, kind of a situation.
Um,
Right. So it's not just give them individual points, but also guide their hand. Okay. So now I draw a line from this to this. And this is the reason why, like, in my opinion, it is not even like, so my dots don't end at just, so I'm a like little further left to than you, right? And so for me it is like a much longer road to go, but even I believe that like India first needs like a at like 100, like near to 100% liberal democracy first, and then we can start going towards some solid leftist like politics, because I don't.
because
Yeah,
it's difficult to argue from, if it is difficult to argue from like a worker's point of view
yeah, when
when
the workers are so
when
divided.
you are currently having levels of class collaboration against a minority.
Yeah, the working class is divided so hardly, so strictly, so severely, and then there are, in as you said, the cross class collaborations which are facilitating this division, right?
Mm.
Communal, your caste based, and like gender based to a big degree as well, right? So where this all of this is happening, then it is like, okay, it is much better to just have like a standard liberal democracy first, and then we will start thinking about worker liberation. At least workers should feel like their country people are their country people, like, right?
Right.
So you should have like at least a commonality of everybody within India is like, actually the pledge that we used to recite, they actually are our
Brothers and
family.
sisters.
Yeah, there nobody believes that anymore. It's that has been abandoned long ago. Like nobody at all like identifies with each other in India anymore, it feels like. It's everybody. This is what I call like a complete lack of civic responsibilities. We don't identify with our society, we don't identify with our community, with our government. All of us are just like nuclear families, like working for ourselves, and in ways in which that are harming, but we feel like it is for us.
More accurately, it just feels like it is there is a like there isn't like a faith in institutions, and suppose
Oh yeah,
institutions really is the,
definitely that's part of it. Yeah, all
mm,
new laws, all new rules that come out, the first reaction of people is how do we bypass them?
yeah,
How do we? Yeah,
because there is no sort of investment in this thing, so to speak.
in a nation as a concept,
Mm.
as a entity. That's, yeah,
Yeah.
but that's like something that needs to be repaired. And the right wingers have a lead on this. They're at least mobilized behind Akhand Bharat's concept.
Mm.
At least they identify with each other.
Right.
So yeah, let's. I think this is as good a point as any to end it.
Cool.
Yeah, okay. Thank you anyone
Yes.
who listened.
Thank you, everyone.
This was an especially controversial type, I would say. A lot of things he
If
said
any of you listen to this,
so far.
first of all, like, share, and subscribe.
Yes, please.
Leave comments if you agree with us or if you disagree with us, or if you think that we are Islamophobes or whatever. Um,
No, I
or if
think
you think
I could be like the Islamophobe and you could be like the liberal. I would not use the expletives, but yeah, the stereotype of a liberal who is like defend Muslims at all cost.
Librandu,
Liberal,
Librandu.
yeah, all that.
Yeah.
But no, we are not that. We are something completely different. But thank you if you
I,
listened so
I
far.
identify as a Librandu, however, so if you can call me whatever you want.
Sure. Okay.
Yes. Anyway,
Bye.
cheers. Bye.